All right, guys, so we are here in Manteca, California at my good buddy's game store, and we are here for the PlayStation 2 Pursuit, another episode where we're going to bring in some trades and see what PlayStation 2 games we can come away with for the full North American set of over 1,800 games. I've been meaning to come to this store for a while because it's a good friend of mine who owns it, and he's been the owner for over a decade. So it's definitely one that I wanted to come to, shoot a full video, show you the store, show you the stuff I brought in for trades, and show you what I come away with. So let's go ahead and go inside, check out this game store, and I'll take you on the journey for the PlayStation 2 Pursuit.
Let's go!
All right, guys, so this is the stuff I'm bringing in for trade today. A lot of Xbox multi-plats that I'm going to end up picking up on the PS2 eventually anyway. And then we have my CIB Mario Kart Double Dash console that is signed by Charles Martinet and Jen Taylor, the voice of Mario and Peach. So we're going to see what we can come away with today for the PlayStation 2 collection, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. All right, guys, so I'm here with my buddy Chia, the owner of War Torn Front here in Manteca. And I have to ask you, because I asked Jared the same question, how dumb do you think I am for going for the full PS2 set?
It's quite a feat.
Yeah.
It's just gonna take you a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to see what it looks like once you actually fill up the whole place. Because there's a lot of games. And
around 1850
yeah,
total.
Yeah.
It's
So
just in North America, you know. I saw pictures online of people that have completed the set over the years. It's obnoxious the way it looks. Like it would be like from wall to like where Izzy's sitting of just PS2 games. Like it's kind of insane.
I mean, at least it's not the Wii.
Well, the Wii's less. So the full,
well,
the
at
full,
least with the PS2 you have better games.
That's true. So my buddy Marcus has the full Wii set.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure the Wii set was bigger than the PS2 set, but it's only about, I say only, but it's like 1,300 games.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, with the PS2 having like 600 more than the Wii, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of daunting, just the number. But
yeah,
I don't know how long it's going to take me. And I was telling Jared, I was like, between you, Chia, Ryan, like everybody, like I'll get it done over the next couple years, you know.
If you really try it, I'm sure you could get it done within a year, but it's just, you know, take your time. There's no reason to rush it.
Yeah, so, I want to make it fun. I want to make it fun. I don't want to rush it. And also I want to get like the best deals I can, you know, because I did go to a game store a couple days ago, and I'm not going to say which game store, but they had a shelf full of crappy sports games, and I just wanted to see what they would say. And I'm like, look, man, what would you guys do if I took all the sports games? And of course, obviously, they're going to price chart everything, and it's like they were going to nickel and dime me on every single sports game. And I'm like, look, man, these have been sitting forever. Do you want to do something on them? I'll take them all off your hands. You know, I need every one. And he's like, well, this one price charts for $550. And I'm like, I know, but nobody's coming in here to buy a copy of, you know, Madden 2004.
Yeah.
Right? Or nobody's coming in to buy a copy of Tiger Woods PGA Tour.
We had somebody buy the whole set.
How often does that happen?
Not very often.
Not very often. And I'm like, look, could you do, on all the sports stuff, could you do $3 a game? And I'll buy them all. And he was like, oh, I can't do that. And he was like,
that's a great deal.
And I'm like, dude, I'll take them all off your hands right now. And he wasn't budging. And I'm like, that's fine, dude. You know, it's your store, not a big deal. I don't care. I just wanted to see if we can come up with something. So, but yeah, dude, I wanted to bring in these to you. I think honestly, dude, like, because I've been trading and buying from you for years. Yeah, that's a good one. So the certificate for this is in here. It's inside the double dash box, so it would not get lost. So it is authentic. I obviously the number on the certificate and the number on the sticker will match. You can go right to their website, literally type in, you know, the number, and it'll show that it is there. It is 100% authentic. Plus, I have pictures with them. I mean, I met them. I was the one who got it signed. Then meeting Jen Taylor and Charles was awesome. They were super nice. Well, guys, I'm gonna let Chia finish his trades. I'm gonna interview him in a little bit, talk to him about what it's been like owning a store for over a decade, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And you know, we'll see what we're gonna get in trade value, show you the games we're gonna pick up, do the interview, all the good stuff. So stay tuned for that, guys. All right, so far, these are some of the games I'm picking up today. So obviously this is all in trade. I showed you guys earlier the stuff that I brought in. Unfortunately, we all know when you're going for a full set, you got to get the shovelware, the sports games, the common titles. So my buddy is helping me knock a big chunk of that out today with these. But we're gonna get some good, really good titles as well, but stay tuned for that. All right, guys, so we came to a deal, and I couldn't be more thrilled or more happy. So you guys saw what I brought in for trade. I bought in a bunch of original Xbox games, some GameCube stuff, and that signed GameCube console. And what we came up with is all of this. So it's about 142 PlayStation 2 games total, which brings the grand total to 382 games in my collection.
A little over 20%. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. We got a lot of great titles. Some of the more notable ones, I believe, are right here on top. So we got Obscure, Shadow Hearts, the first game and the third game, which I have Covenant, so now I have all three. Harry Potter had some value, which shocked me. A bunch of the Gundam games. I don't know how many Gundam games there are total on the PS2, but that's four of them.
That's four of them in one go.
So a lot of good stuff. I'm really excited about that. And, Chia, I've been friends with you now a couple years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We met at Stockton Con when you were selling my CIB copy of Ocarina of Time that I really wanted.
Yeah, he came over. He said, I really want this. And I said, well, why don't you just call the wife? And you called her.
I called her, yeah.
You called her and you came back.
Because with a purchase like that, we have this understanding of if you're dropping that much money on something, we talk about it first. And I remember calling my wife. I stepped away from the booth. I called her and she answers, and the first thing out of her mouth was no. And I said, I haven't even asked anything yet. And she goes, I know what you're going to ask. You want to spend money. How much is it? And I was like, well, it's this much. And she's like, absolutely not. And I said, she's like, what game is it? And I said, it's Zelda Ocarina of Time in the box. She goes, okay, you can buy it. That's her favorite game. So I ended up picking that up from him a few years ago, probably 3-4 years ago now.
Quite a while. Yeah, it's been a bit now.
Yeah.
So and I got to see you transition, through everything. And I was like, wow,
I went from collecting that kind of stuff to now I'm going for the full PS2 set.
Yeah.
But dude, I have loved your store forever since I've been coming here. I love getting to hang out with you at the shows, getting to come here and all the late nights we've had, where I'm just I lose track of time and it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night and I'm still here just talking to him.
Here and talking.
All the staff is amazing, and it's been a great time, and it feels like family here. It really does. Just like at Jared's store, or when we went to Ryan's store, it's just the community has been amazing. And you've been the owner for over a decade, for over 10 years.
Yeah, kind of lose track of time. I didn't even think about it till somebody asked me, and I was like, wow, I've been doing this for 10 years now.
So when you bought this place, what was it? What kind of store was it 10 years ago?
So when I first bought it, it was just part thrift store, because we still had leftover thrift store product, because that's what it was. And then it had some cards, it had very little games, and then just over time I said, you know what? I know games, I like games. And I just started incorporating it, and now it's what it is. People know to come here for games, and they come here for cards a lot too. Right. But yeah, they slowly come here for games, and I have random people who come from out of state or from down south, and they're like, oh yeah, we heard about you. You're like, me? All the way up here in Manteca? Yeah. You came from LA, you came from out of state, you came from Reno, and it's kind of amazing to get that when people show up.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. And so being a store owner for the last decade, what has been some things you feel like you've learned along the way from the beginning versus now that are absolutely necessary? So for example, you guys sell a little bit of everything from collectible cards and figures and statues and toys and plushies and video games and everything. Yeah. And do you think owning a store like this in this day and age, it's a necessity to have other things like cards and not just video games? Is that a must? If you got rid of the cards tomorrow,
the whole thing would change. Yeah.
The whole thing would change.
Yeah, it's good to be in a little bit of everything, but at the same time, you don't want to dip your toes in too many things, because then you're spread too thin. So yeah, but it's definitely necessary to have multiple avenues of I guess I don't want to say income, but multiple avenues of just ways to get people to show up, because a lot of these things relate to each other. You like cards, but you also play games, and you also like anime. So it's a lot of these things, relate to everybody.
Yeah, dude, if you're a nerd, this is the perfect place for you. Honestly, I love coming here and just looking at all the cool stuff that he always has in stock. And I don't know anything about cards, but it's cool to come in and he's running tournaments all day in the other room. And it's packed in here with so many people. Or when you do your Smash Bros tournaments,
oh yeah,
all the
guys.
TVs, all the CRTs are on the table.
They take over like a good chunk of the other side of the room.
Dude, so. It's awesome. And I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or Pokemon, like playing the actual game, but there's so many people that love it, and there's so many people that I see every time I come in here. The room is always full of people just getting to hang out and have a good time, like every day. So. And you've definitely, I feel like, built a community or a culture here that people like love to just come and just be here.
We get a lot of people, even if I'm not their main store, they still come here. So it's like they'll come here because they're like, oh yeah, I got to get stuff, and I know you have it.
So I have to ask, and I asked the other owners the same question. What would you say has been the hardest part about owning a store like this over the last decade?
You're always on call. So it's like everybody gets a day off. Like my days off are not actual days off. The distributors will still call me. I still have to keep track of things. This is you 24/7.
This is your life.
Yeah,
all the time. Okay, so what would you say is probably the best part of owning this type of store for the last 10 years?
I mean, you do it because you like it. It's something you love and you enjoy it. So you wake up and you go and you're like, this is something I don't dread going to work.
Right.
So it's a fun thing to do, and if you want to do it, but make sure you're going into it with the right mindset, because a lot of people always think, oh yeah, it's my hobby, I want to do it. But once you turn your hobby into your job, a lot of people learn that it's not as fun anymore. So do it, be passionate, but keep that in mind if you're going to start a store like this. So.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't take into consideration that it's not just selling games or cards. It's like you have to educate yourself on everything. You're constantly, doing trades or stocking the shelves or checking prices on everything. Dealing with customers, whether they're happy or not. Like, because even though this is a store filled with a bunch of nerdy things that we love, I'm sure that you deal with customers that are a pain, or just like any other retail.
We all have our favorite customers.
Yeah, it's like that in any retail business, and it's just, I'm sure that there's a lot of things that you deal with on a regular that people on the outside looking in don't realize, just because they go, well, he sells video games and
I can do it too, cards. And it's not the same.
It's so much more than that. And the advertising and the community that you build and the atmosphere and how you train your employees, and it all matters, and it's a never-ending thing. And I'm sure over the years you learn things, you pick up tips and tricks, and you get better over the years.
Oh yeah, it's constant learning. It's just like, I was an engineer, so it's like, it's lifelong learning. No matter what you do, you're learning something new every day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, dude, I love your store. I always have. I will always support you and the business and everybody here. It's been amazing. I really do cherish your friendship. I genuinely mean that.
I totally appreciate it. So.
This is insane. 142 games in one shot. I didn't think that this was going to happen like today, but it happened all from trades. I didn't spend a single penny out of my pocket. Some advice I got when I was going for this full set was go through your personal collection and find things that you're not attached to as a tool to get the things that you're going for, that you're passionate about. And so I went through and I picked out a bunch of original Xbox games that I know are on the PS2 also, that I'm gonna have to buy eventually. So why do I need 2 copies of the game, besides the fact that the original Xbox version is usually better and it runs better, but I'm gonna need to get those games anyway. Or like the Mario GameCube console that's signed. It's like I have other stuff that's signed by Charles Martinet, because I know people in the comments are like, oh, you traded a signed GameCube from Mario. It's like, guys, when I met Mario, when I met Charles, I had him sign a bunch of stuff, right? I'm not collecting for GameCube, so I was okay with letting it go. And if Chia can find a home for it, someone who's a big Mario fan or a collector or a GameCube collector.
That's the idea. So.
That's the idea, that I could pass it on and I get what I'm looking for. He makes some money as a store owner and he passes it on to somebody else who's gonna love it and cherish it and put it on their shelf. So it's like this never-ending circle of life thing when it comes to buying, selling, and trading video games. And so I'm super stoked, dude. Like, I'm not thrilled about having to enter in everything into price charting, because I'm gonna have to do that and then give you guys a final count. And I've been updating you on how much the collection is worth. So today we're at 240 games, We got to add the 142 in, and I'll give you a value at the end of the video, guys. But thank you so much to Chia, his staff, everybody here at War Torn Front in Manteca for hanging out today, making this happen. We're one step closer to PlayStation 2 greatness for the PS2 Pursuit. But stick around, guys, for the series, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy hunting.